Hey everyone, James George with Creative Beacon, and this week we're going to talk about the color guide inside of Adobe Illustrator. I don't know if you've used this tool, but it's really handy for uh, color variations and shades and values and things like that. So it's a really important tool if you want to create steps and levels of color. Instead of having to go in and change the transparency every time to simulate that effect, you can actually drop down in steps of color that you specify. So let's take a look at how you might use this. So if you remember from a week or so ago, we created this complex shape, and it's made up of different little pieces. And I'm just going to grab a swatch, and we're going to go from there. So let's say that I made it a deep, let's do like a royal blue. When you select a color, you go over to color guide, that's your active color. And you can see that you have different tints, which is when you add white to a color, and different shades of your active color. And then you have different colors that go along with it depending on this option. And so this is set to harmony rules, but you have different color models. If you remember your color wheel from design class, you have tetrads, triads, complementary, analogous, split complementary. You have all these different options. So I'm going to stick with the tetrad. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to show you some other tips here. But let's say that you wanted to create or to step down in tints from out from the center here. What you can do, and this is you might use this in let's say you were creating the geometric design style that's really popular right now, where people are creating stuff out of like triangles and polygons and things like that to simulate an image or something. This would be really handy for that. But you only have 4 steps to the right and 4 steps to the left. But you can control that. If you go into the flyout menu and choose color guide options, you can specify how many steps. And so we're going to say 10 steps. So it gives you 10 steps for tints and 10 steps of color for shade. So that should be plenty. And you can go in here, and it's just like a swatch, just like the swatches panel. You go in, and we'll go over to and click that. And we'll just work our way around, and I'll just show you how that will look. And we'll go over 4. And just for time's sake, I'm just going to select these. Use the eyedropper to get the same. And then this time we'll go over 6. And you can see that I was able to select these and specify these, and it looks right. It looks great, and that's how it was intended to look. And you don't have to go in and type in all these values in transparency or try to find the right tones or use the color picker to try to do this. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. You can set all that up inside the color guide. It's a really handy tool, especially if you are looking at color combinations for your designs. That's it for this week. I'm James George. This is Creative Beacon.